So, guys, I thought this would be a great time to break down this whole situation that's been going on with Mouser, aka Bouncer, and Clue, aka Clueless or DJ Clue, whatever you want to call him by, because it's actually been quite a hilarious and entertaining beef. The back and forth that these guys have been coming with has kept us entertained for this whole week. So, it's something that needs to be examined. And by the whole end of this program, you will have a full breakdown and understanding of how this situation came about and how it's going at current moment, and if there's going to be any future battles we don't really know about. But this situation has evolved from Clue kind of just being entitled all the time. He didn't even need to get in this whole argument with Bouncer, because Bouncer was really there bigging him up and trying to support Clue in his journey into this social media area, or in the social media world, should I say. And we already know how Bouncer is. When people start joining forces against him, or he feels that people are joining forces against him, he's very, very, like, he becomes a hater. He starts to dislike them. He tries to make fake narratives, make videos about them, and all these sorts of stuff. But when it come to UKL, Made You Think, and Clue, he was very calm and tamed about the situation, because his intended target was actually Fumes. But then Clue being Clue, was always going to try and use this as leverage. And I feel like that's exactly what Fume and them lot decided to actually have Clue in the room for, because they knew that Clue would use his platform to talk more about the fact that Bounce is just an idiot. But, you know, Clue is kind of, I think he's a bigger idiot than Bouncer, let's be honest about this. But for this first clip, I'm going to show you exactly what started off this whole situation properly between these two.
I'd like to believe my thing is different to Bouncer's thing and Spray's thing. Bouncer's thing, you can't find the document that I've signed and given to the police that I sent a man to prison. I'm just saying, that's what makes us different.
You said this, and my bro, this is what I keep on talking about, fake narratives, bro. You just done the video. You've read through the whole court transcripts, yeah? The documents. Like, you've gone through, you printed it off, you've read it, you've broke it down. Achi, anyone that's watching this, because you see this is the art of civil war. Internet ready.
Now, I think everybody knows who's in the UK, or anybody, even probably outside of the UK. As soon as you call Bouncer a snitch, that is it. He will crash out. He will start doing the most. He's going to tear you down. He's going to do whatever he can to get at you. And I'm sure that Clue knew that Bouncer would do this and he would react in this way, because this is something that Bouncer loves to do. Actually, I can't even say that he loves it. I think there's something that just triggers him in his brain, and that is it. It just sends him. He forgets everything. It's like he blacks out and just starts talking about this fake narrative. He hates people talking about it, rah, and it gets quite boring, because at the end of the day, you just have to own it at this point. You snitch, the paperwork is there, regardless of what you want to backtrack and say, oh, my parent wasn't there, rah. Yeah, we've all been there, done that, wore the t-shirt. But at the same time, we just know that we shouldn't implicate anybody because of how these situations can really go. But if you're a basic civilian, you don't need to stick to these rules. You can snitch and do whatever you want to do. If you're a female and your man's doing something to you, you can snitch. These rules do not apply to you, but they apply to people like Bouncer, who seems to have this energy for saying, oh, he can talk about this, he was a bad man, but you was a snitch, and that just kills everything. Regardless of what you want to say or what you've done, you still snitched at 15, and that is that. But I want to rewind time a little bit just to talk about this whole situation and how it really started, because it only started off of the back of Fumes actually involving Clue in an interview, which I'm sure till this day Bouncer is so salty about. Let me give you this next clip here, because this is going to be Clue. I'm sure he was kind of indirecting Bouncer here anyway, but he's going to be talking about the fact why he feels that Fumes is currently getting this hate at the moment.
Fumes the engineer, billion streams to his name, lovely studio set up, doing very well, always on flights, 6-figure deals, nice cars, jewelry. Now, what we doing there? I allude to all these things and these list of things because he's doing very well for himself. Is that why some people feel maybe disgruntled that they're not receiving what they believe to? Now, I don't know what anybody's entitled to. I can only tell you what I saw. I saw receipts of numbers. I heard voice notes. I saw emails. Do you know what I'm saying? So I say it for what it is. Don't look like bro's doing nothing wrong to me. Now, I know Bouncer's got his opinion on certain things, and that's for Bouncer. I know Spray's got his opinion on certain things, and that's for Spray. I can only deal with someone how they deal with me. You know what I mean? I'm not on this picking sides thing.
Now, there's one thing that we have to state about Clue. Clue loves mentioning people. He just can't help himself but mention somebody else, regardless if that's Young Spray, Pound Sterling, and Bounce on. It can be whoever. Whoever's a popping name, Clue has to mention it. I'm sure it's for algorithm reasons or something like that, but he just can't help himself but call out people's name. And he knows that Young Spray and Bouncer are two of the key people who really have problem with Fumes. Young Spray said some nonsense about Fumes can't be doing this music because he never was about that life, which is kind of weird because no one actually looks at Posty like that, even though his parents are really rich or something, which is why everybody says that Young Spray has this selective badness mentality, because he always calls shots at people who he thinks he can bully on the net, and it's just kind of weird. And then when you look at Bouncer, Bouncer has that same sort of energy. He only bullies people that he feels that he can bully on the internet, but obviously this latest like campaign and win is going to boost his ego even more through the roof. It's just ridiculous. So this next clip here I'm going to play is going to be Bouncer's response to this video, even though I think he already knew that Clue was kind of indirecting him, but Clue wasn't really straightforward in what he was trying to say really. But here we go.
Hey, Fumes, the engineer, young Fumes, listen. Hey, UKL made you think Clue. Okay. Okay. Hey. Achi. Hey. Achi. What we doing here? Hey, Clue, what we doing there? Achi. Bro, you know, I always wake up, man. I'm going to sleep, wake up, and I see this, that, this one's going on. Why didn't I get the intro? Why didn't I get invited to this? Why couldn't I go live on Discord and listen to this? What's the damage control about, bro?
Now, as you can see, that Bouncer is very excited that he has managed to make this happen. He can't believe it. He can't believe that Fumes has actually gone out there and tried to explain himself. He feels that he's got him on the ropes. But what he didn't understand about this whole situation was Clue was also looking at him like food. And this was just quite funny because he didn't really watch any of Clue's old videos to have an understanding of how Clue really was. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a part of the interview that Fumes done, because I feel that this really annoyed Bouncer because this was like his trump card. But let me show you this. Watch this.
Respectfully, man's a businessman that don't sit well with the brand. Do you understand what I'm saying? So man's got... Cool. So in 2000, this is the artist, yeah? I'm going to show everyone after. When did that come out?
2020.
Cool. This is the artist. I'm going to show the cameras after.
Oh, 2020, yeah.
This is the artist.
Yeah, 2020.
Cool. Hey, what camera can zoom in, bro? How are we doing this? Because I need them to see. Hey, this is the artist. One.
What does grooming even mean, guys?
Can you see it clearly? On screen.
Yeah, it's totally there.
Yeah, that's the artist, yeah? One sec, because this really triggered, man, bro. Do you get? I'll keep it a buck because you see me and my man, Lucy, we had a good relationship, bro.
Okay.
So for him to go on and message her next man, he's in the live right now. For him to go on and message her next man and say, do you know who really feels hard done by? Me.
What if that next man's lying? And what if it didn't go the way that the next man said?
Cool, I just want to...
You'll be...
No, because I know it did.
Okay.
Now, Fumes was very smart about this situation because as soon as he heard the line grooming, he must have heard it before. This artist must have said it to him before or something, because he knew exactly who he was talking about. And Bouncer got really annoyed about the fact that he had brought up Lucy, even though Bouncer was kind of trying to do this little thing of trying to call out Fumes. And you know he does this, you've got 24 hours to whatever, and it never works out. No one ever apologizes. So he knew that this was his trump card, and Fumes actually just used it, and Bouncer was really annoyed. So he decided to go on his campaign anyway and use Lucy like he wasn't going to use Lucy in the first place. But watch this next clip, because then you're going to see his exact reaction to Fumes talking about the situation, which Bouncer was ready to speak on because he thought it was big info and stuff, and then Fumes just ruined it for him.
Shout out to UKL and Clue. This is what our scene needs. Now, secondly, bro, Fumes, you done the maddest thing to even mention Lucy's name, because that has opened up a can of worms, bro. Because at 12 p.m. on Wednesday, I'm going to do a Discord stream with Lucy, and everything you said, we're going to address it. Like, we're going to address it. But today, I'm going to show you some evidence or show you some material just to, poke holes. You get me? Because right now, you got to be
Internet ready.
and you, my friend,
Internet ready.
it's not internet ready, bro. And yeah, bro, this is a civil war, fam. It's a civil war, bro. Because and anyone that wants to get involved, no disrespect. I'm not talking about Clue. I'm not talking about UKL. I'm not talking about Made You Think. I'm talking about everyone else. I've seen that you're phoning people, bro. Stay out of it, bro.
Now, as you can hear, Bouncer is very respectful when he talks about Clue, and he says he has no issue with those guys, but anybody else surrounding Fumes who thinks that they're going to get involved, he'll have issues with. So that is literally the stance that Bouncer took from the beginning. And even if we can rewind a bit further than before the situation kind of even started, we can talk about the fact that Bouncer was really nice in the way that he spoke about Clue, even though Clue was trying to get at Posty, and Clue, we already know he's just an entitled baby. But the point being here is that Bouncer was really nice, even though we always see Bouncer go off when it's somebody he doesn't like or create fake narratives or chat rubbish about them. But with Clue, even though he said there could have been some possible animosity, he just welcomed him like they was actually friends and they had met before.
This is what I will say from the get-go, and this is why I react to Clue's stuff and whatnot, and there's never no weirdness between me and Clue. We're from oppositions, like it's very technical, like it's very like techie. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Obviously, I'm a bit pissed off the fact that obviously Clue and Crep's friendship died down. I think it was genuine, but this is what it was. This is what we need to understand. There's where there's oppositions and ends not everyone speaks. Maybe people around it now. That's why things has happened. But obviously, if we want to talk about Clue making music from years ago, bro, he's been doing his thing and he's been making noise. And obviously, him going to prison has hindered his progression. And then obviously being able to pivot in terms of marketing and the culture and getting the culture support, it's been different. You get me? But obviously, from when both of them, Pound Sterling and Clue's doing a legacy in GRM, it shows where Posty or people from the industry view, man. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But I think it's excellent what he's doing. He's jumped on this space.
Now, the thing is, this is why I say Bouncer's really dumb at the end of the day, because if he had watched anything Clue had actually said, he would know that Clue does not like him. And Clue's just one of those guys who likes to be indirect, like I said before. But more recently, he's tried to be a bit more direct, especially when it came to Bouncer. But his first video, this is the clip I'm going to show you here, because I'm sure he was kind of indirecting Bouncer in this. But watch this clip.
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now, man. People are talking about crazy things, and that's for them. We all know why they do it. Like, it's relevant. People love drama. But one thing I will say is, I'm not doing this for beneficial gain. Meaning it's not money. It's not about the money. It's about just me getting off my chest. And if some young youths or young men, I wasn't going to say pause because I was trying not to do that. That's not my thing. I think that's Spray's thing. So you can control that. But yeah, I might either walk away from my seat or think of what to do if I say something that's a bit crazy. But it's for them just to hear my opinions and maybe learn from my mistakes or learn from what I can say to them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Talking about the streets, talking about this man got robbed, that man got robbed. That's not my place to do that, man. Do you get what I'm saying? I know these people do it because views bring money. Do you know what I'm saying? Views bring money. And if that's your angle, bro. Cool. My angle is strictly voicing my opinion on music because I feel I'm entitled to. I feel I'm skilled enough to. almost been in this music game 20 years.
20 years with no accolades is just crazy stuff. That's all you've got to present. You don't have any like awards or any of these sorts of things that you get from music just to say that you've been in music for 20 years. Like, what have you been doing this whole time? Because there's people here who have probably been around about the same time as you or less and have done much more in this music game. So I'm very confused at why Clue feels that he's entitled to talk about the music game just because he's been around it for 20 years. Like, okay, you guys might have your opinion, but for me personally, he just hasn't done those numbers, so I don't care what you lot have to say, really. But the next clip I'm going to show you here is another, like, I'm not sure what it is with Clue. He just likes to mention people's names. He has to mention he just has to mention anybody who he feels he's entitled to speak about because he had a conversation with them at one time or something. Watch this clip here.
Osprey, where he got the idea for his fire rounds from, where he took the idea from. You understand? He even told me himself. And it's cool. I'm not saying that makes me the guy for this content thing, because there was loads before me, so many, and salute to all of them. So, you know what I'm saying? Doing big things. But he knows, ask him. You know what I'm trying to say? So before people start thinking that I just followed fashion on this content thing, and you know, nah, I really was doing this still. I really was. And then I really went to the landing. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I probably would have still been forwarding with it. So
Now, if there's one thing that you can expect from Clue, you know you're going to hear about the prison, landing, some of that sorts of stuff. Like, these guys really love to promote the idea that prison is one of the roughest and toughest places. And you know, it probably is, because you're surrounded by a bunch of men who have been caught for their crimes, who are now sitting there high in testosterone because, you know, they have nothing else to do, like no women in there. So it's just like one of those situations where everyone's kind of pissed off, because I would be pissed off. Why would you want to be in a place with 0 women and then promote it as if, say, it's some really hard place to be? You got caught, and that's why you're there in the first place, for whatever plea you took, which was involving kidnap, which we'll talk about later. But the point being here is that Clue is just an entitled baby, like I've said before. Like, even listen to this, where he's talking about pound sterling and his issue with pounds not getting back to him about doing an interview. It's just, he just has no idea, and this is why people call him clueless.
I sent you a message in like June to your DM, because I don't feel we're people that we might have numbers, but you know, sometimes it's like, don't know each other like that really. So me sending you a DM, or it just feels more natural because I phone my dog, innit? Yo, do you hear what I'm trying to say? I sent you a DM in like June. Said, yo, bro, EP's out. Let me know if I can come and chop it up with you lot on your platform, promote the EP. Business, right? From my aspect, business. Oh, now I ain't heard no reply.
It's so weird about Clue, because he mentions the fact that he might have possibly had pound sterling's number, but decided to DM him anyway because he felt that was more natural. Like, what an idiot. What kind of conversation is this? Honestly, if you look at some of these podcast DMs and stuff like that, or maybe even some of these girls who maybe have like a few K or whatever, you will see that they're totally full. So sometimes they're not going to sit there and just go through the DMs and say, oh my gosh, Clue has messaged me. Because Clue, like I said before, he is so entitled and believes that he is the best thing that's ever come to rap, even though he has 0 accolades. It just makes no sense. Now, after he said all of this, Pound Sterling, I think he reached out to him and probably sent him the clip that Bouncer was talking about at one point, but he refused to back down on his position and instead came out with something even like I don't understand this guy. He talks about accountability, and when people try to take account, he then has an issue with them taking account. It just makes no sense. But watch this.
Then when I forward with disrespect, or what seems to be disrespect, all of a sudden, I exist to you now. But don't contact me, brother. Don't contact my phone, my Instagram, my Snapchat, my X. Yeah, I mean Twitter. You know what I mean?
Now, I think you guys have all caught up with the sort of person Clue is. He doesn't take accountability. He's legit a baby. He just cries online and mentions people. That's kind of his sort of thing, I'm sure. But anyway, let's fast forward back to the video, which was like he was talking and Bouncer got set off and he got really annoyed. Well, Bouncer got really annoyed. But let's go back to that video because, like I said, Clue always needs to be entitled or act like he's better than everybody else. And that's exactly how this video started out.
And sometimes people ain't ready to take accountability because at that moment in their life, they're not at peace. Do you know what I mean? It's F the world and it's up. Now, I'm not saying I'm fully at peace. I'm saying I'm a lot older, trying to be more mature. It's difficult though. But one thing I can't look past is accountability. So I take that, bro. 100%. Wrong for many things to many people. And it is what it is. This ain't no white flag kind of speech. This is just what it says. Accountability. Ruffled a few feathers. So let's just say it for what it is, bro. Man, them like drama. The ladies like drama. It's hot outside. I'm sweating in my kitchen. Accountability. Yeah? Let's all take accountability, man. Let's not be watching things but then chatting bad on them. Maybe support them. Maybe encourage them. Or hear what? Maybe don't watch it at all. Because remember, if you're from my era, this was never cool. I'd like to believe my thing is different to Bouncer's thing and Spray's thing. Bouncer's thing, you can't find the document that I've signed and given to the police that I sent a man to prison. I'm just saying, that's what makes us different. Do you know what I mean? Spray has a lot of guests on his show, very selective. That's not me.
Now, this is very cool from Clue. He talks about accountability and how people need to take accountability and they don't take accountability, rah, rah, rah. But this is just a nonsense statement because he talks about the fact that he's trying to be better, rah, 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 and talks about everybody loves drama. And he's also said in his previous statements that he doesn't want to create any drama or he's not that guy that does drama. And then at the end of it, tries to create drama between Young Spray and Bouncer. It just makes no sense. And this is why I say Clue is a hypocrite, just like Bouncer. He is no different. And the only difference is that he made Bouncer crash out, which people don't really tend to do. But this time, Bouncer really crashed out over this situation. And I mean, he was obviously emotional. Watch this clip here.
You, bro, don't apologize, bro, for what you just said, bro. You pushed the fake narrative. Signed statement sent a man to jail, bro. Stop pushing these fake narratives. Man's gonna talk about this snitching thing. Let's talk about it properly, bro. Yes, let's talk about it properly. But you need to apologize in 48 hours, bro. Or that video is going everywhere, bro. And, bro, yeah, there is some paperwork about you, bro. I'm not gonna speak about it right now, but you know there's certain paperwork because you spoke badly on a rapper. You get me? And then there was a page that started posting a lot of paperwork, you get me? And certain people, something happened in prison or whatnot, or not prison, or you know what happened and someone got you know that paperwork. So what I will say for you to do is you need to address that as well.
Now, if you guys don't know how this works already, Bouncer basically tells somebody that they need or they have 48 hours or 24 hours, may depend. I think at this moment he's kind of extended that period because he realizes 24 hours might be a bit soon for people to think about their actions. But anyway, he does this thing, and if you don't apologize, he basically starts exposing you, starts going crazy and stuff like that. But Clue was ready to play this game. I feel like he knew what he was doing. He knew that, like, by getting Bouncer annoyed, getting Bouncer wound up, he was gonna garner views from him. So this is exactly what he done. And I don't think Bouncer even realized the game he was playing because everybody calls Bouncer a snitch. I don't know why he reacted so hard to Clue, but that was maybe because he was kind of trying to build a friendship, and then he realized that Clue doesn't want a friendship with him. But watch this.
What we doing here? You had a lot to say today in your segment. Something like 24 minutes of it, to be exact. I see the numbers doing good for you. Monetization, my boy. Crazy. It's funny how we speak on people that are nobodies, but gain a lot of traction from it. Don't you think? Just saying. But here's one thing I want to talk about, bro. And I mean, I call you bro. It's just a figure of speech. Like, we all do it. We're all guilty. We don't really know a person. We call him bro. It's crazy when you think about it, right? But we don't even know each other. We've never met each other, bro. But here you are, calling me all these lovely names under the sun. I just wanted to say thank you, bro. It means a lot. The problem I have is, you was the person alluding to being internet ready I don't have the, you know what I mean? But, yeah. But don't seem to be ready for the internet, bro.
And you know, like, this is the thing that I was saying about Clue. Clue doesn't understand that Bouncer actually told him to say sorry. It's like he completely missed that part out and refused to say sorry whatsoever. And that led to Bouncer being Bouncer. And Bouncer was gonna crash out and start creating fake narratives and doing all this sorts of stuff. And this is how he started it, because he started with this first video, and Bouncer was just being Bouncer with this one because he's lost against Clue. Fumes is kind of like 50-50 at the moment. It's kind of on the edge, and he's also lost against Remain Relevant TV. So this is quite an awkward civil war for Bouncer. He's not doing anything. He's not winning, and he's like 2-1 maybe at this point. Like, he's kind of in the middle with Fumes. We're not sure if he's beat Fumes yet, but that is still to be concluded. But at this period right here, he was definitely losing to Clue. I won't say he's lost to Clue, because he didn't lose to Clue, but I would say that he was losing at this point. But watch this clip here.
Like, if you was on the landing, I'd be at your cell door. Do you know what I mean?
My brother, Ache, this is what I mean. We got, let's say the right age. We got this 42-year-old man talking about, if you was in prison, I'll be at your store door. Bro, you was riding voluntary bang up, bro. Pressured. Remember, bro, wallahi, bro, in the 10 years that I spent in prison, I was never a victim, bro. You was riding voluntary bang up, bro. You actually got assaulted. There's actually paperwork. I've actually got paperwork in my phone of your x-ray stuff. Actually. Do you know what? Let me just send one of the x-ray stuff to this little thing, just so you can see. Because, bro, you see when people just start talking about if you was on the landing and X, Y, and Z and blah, 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 it's like, bro, like, look, bro, I'm going to send you one bit of paperwork on here just so you can see. It's come up. Because it's like, bro, it's like, and it's like you're trying to lean on someone that's done so well for the culture. You think that we're allowing that to happen, bro. Look, my brother, man, look. This is your injury, you know. I'm not even getting, look, let me just stop there. But I'm saying, actually, so when you're doing videos like this, bro, you get me? When you're doing videos like this and you're saying stuff like this, stop saying misinformation. Stop it.
I'll be at your cell door.
Whose cell door? Whose?
Do you know what I mean? Forwarding in your cell door. And I'll be asking, what we doing there?
Did you answer that question when you got assaulted in prison? I want to know this, Ache. I want to know this, bro. Seeing as everyone wants to push narratives, you get me? Everyone wants to embarrass everyone. In prison, we want to know, break down the story, what happened to you in prison. And ask, man, why does man have that in my phone book? Because I've got all the paperwork.
Now, if you don't know already, Bouncer basically was trying to use this tactic as a way of kind of getting Clue to stay away from him, because he was going to say, I'm going to expose all this information about you, and there's stuff that people don't know about Clue and stuff like that, that he might have been involved in the same sort of stuff that Bouncer was. But Clue was not worried about this whatsoever. Instead, what he decided to do is take a trip to the Staples, go and buy a clipboard, go and buy a printer paper, come back home, print out Bouncer's whole like statement or the appeal case that it's based on, and go into his kitchen, put it on his clipboard, and then read it to his whole audience so they could understand exactly what Bouncer did. Watch this.
Do we have here, Miles Harris? It was common ground that by the date of the trial, Harris, Bouncer, had left the United Kingdom and gone to his father in Jamaica. I've never been still. What's it saying in Yard and that, though? Like, my family's from the Gardens and that, you know. Dad's side, not really get along with them, do you know what I mean? But let me know. But yeah. But following the incident, he had given a video recorded interview to the police. Bouncer. Miles. It's over, buddy. In it, he said that he was aware of a history of ill feeling between the appellant the man accused.
Now, if you guys don't know, you can just go and watch this video to understand more. But the point being here is that Clue was basically reading out all of the bits of Bouncer's like appeal case and how Bouncer was involved. And Bouncer naturally, he does this thing where he calls it a fake narrative and says because he was 15, it's not real. But then it doesn't make any sense because regardless, you still snitched, regardless of what circumstances or what you try to say, you still snitched. You just got to handle it and take it at this point and just say, do you know what? I snitched. No more reacting to it because it's pointless. There's nothing you can possibly say to change your mind on the fact that you snitched. Like, you have told them that you had a conversation with them about them hammering or something like that, and then the person has actually repeated that same comment. And they've used that as evidence. Like, bro, you can't really get out of that situation. But listen to him speak because he's going to use this dumb video to explain it, and it just explains more of how much of a snitch he is. Like, watch this.
Guys, you see what he's reading? I want you lot to know everything that he's reading is true. But the way how he's reading it,
Deserved it. That's a direct confession, and
wait, let's get into this.
as a result, Bouncer did not testify, but the court still allowed his teenage interview to be played in full, without cross-examination. Pearson admitted what he did. He said, "Yeah, I did hammer him. He deserved it." That's a direct confession, and it came from the same man who told police Bouncer was chasing him. But somehow, Bouncer's reaction was treated like more of a problem than Pearson's actions.
Let's rewind this. But bear in mind, guys, I've owned up. But now this is giving you lot some context. Because you know you lot go mad. You lot say crazy stuff. So I want you lot to say crazy stuff on the right stuff. I want you to say crazy stuff about the right things. But anyway, this is the only person that looked at the case. But if you did look at the case, anyone actually looked at the case, you would kind of see this. I'm going to break it down
Now, as you can see, Bouncer is already crashing out in this video. There's no chance of anyone telling me anything less. But the crash out was really starting to happen from this point on. And Bouncer, he was going to do that thing that he was going to do, the x-rays and stuff like that and the injuries. And he was going to then again create a fake narrative as he likes to do. Watch this.
It led to fracture in your head or something. You got a fracture in your head. It led to rib fracture. It led to, obviously this is just a summary of like what's going on, of obviously the medical report and a breakdown of the medical report and just more pictures. You get me? It's the same pictures. And obviously this is a key part of this because no one's not, okay, cool, you've gone to the hospital, you get me, you've been mashed up, you've gone to the hospital, you've complained about your ribs. Where does it say? I'll show you here. I think you complained about, you know me, I'm not great at reading, but I think it's here. Examined Leon Morris at Epsom Hospital. Morris complains of coughing up blood and is found to have this viral something. Okay, I cannot read, but basically you're complaining about your injuries, you get me? In July 2025, a couple months ago, you get me? And it just blots out the brother's name, you get me? Your case before Guildford Crown Court, Section 20 GBH. Obviously, Clue got mashed up, he got charged for a Section 20 GBH, yeah? And it just says, I write to confirm that I have finally received the expert report commenting on the injury caused to Mr. Leon Morris. Please find attached a copy of this report. And it just says, in short, the experts concluding it, it's saying that there's a rip. You look, let me bring it up, just so you lot can read this, man. Just so you lot can read this. Look. Let's get this up. Let me just get this up so you lot can see this here. And it's just basically kind of showing like, oh, this is what's happened. The punch, they're basically saying that the punch, he dropped to the floor, hit his head. Okay, cool. But the rib injury, did that have something to do with the punch, or did it have something to do with the impact of him dropping on the floor? So me breaking this down, just to conclude this, just to break this down, guys, yeah, is the victim, as in Clue, as in Leon Morris, the victim had to of 100% approved the injury. He had to approve it for it to go court.
Now, obviously, the situation being is that Bouncer really was going to go all in, especially against Clue, because, like I said, he has lost every other battle in this supposed civil war that he started and hasn't been able to defeat anyone. It's just crazy stuff. So, watch, he's going to now play the recording of the whole situation that happened with Clue in jail, and it's just crazy because it's like, how do you, well, I know how he got this footage, because probably because the inmate and they got convicted and they had the tape and stuff like that, so they probably sent all this information to Bouncer just to embarrass Clue. But watch this.
Screen, so you can see one lady, one officer, yeah, is in front of cameras, but can't really see nothing in the cameras. You see a punch, but yeah, he's walking. Look, my man runs. Whoop. Oh, he sees that. Oh shit! Look, there's nothing happened here. My man's just ran from nowhere. Oh, he's running on the landing. He's running on the landing.
Now, this was probably the best episode, could I say, of this whole situation, because it was just laugh after laugh. He's running on the landing, there's all this banter, but then this absolutely hilarious bit, like, everyone has to give Bouncer his credit for this. Honestly, it was quite funny, considering he can't read and he's an idiot and all this sorts of stuff. The way he done this was quite jokes, because he decided that he was going to trademark Clue saying, and the way he actually like introduced the fact that he's going to do this was actually just quite hilarious. Watch this bit.
I was thinking, like, seeing as he come online, he's just copied my whole infrastructure, everything. He's copied my whole infrastructure. You get me? I thought, you know what? I gave him his accolades and boom, he's got what we're doing here. It's such a trendy thing. Remember, I got the slang, ahe, internet ready. Let me break this down. Like, what, we got this. So I thought, you know what? Let me make what we're doing here hats. What we doing here? But not only that, I thought, let me trademark what we're doing here, as he spelt it like that. So I thought, let me trademark it. Let me own what we're doing here. You know? You see this thing here? You have to be
Internet ready.
So I thought, let me do that. But not only that, I thought, let me just buy the domain as well. Because when we're ready to, he does the T thing. I thought, let me make mugs and let me do merch of what we're doing here. So I couldn't get .com. Someone's taken it. But .co.uk is still great. But I thought, okay, cool. This is what I would do. So now I own what we're doing here, the trademark. So, Clue, I give you permission to keep us saying it. I give you permission to, I give you permission to keep on promoting it. You get me?
Now, you've got to admit, this was absolute checkmate. This was funny. This was funny because how could you actually go and trademark the guy who you're having an argument with online slogan and make it into hats and teacups and merch? He's basically selling his merch and he's using the slogan that Clue always uses. Now, Clue's completely stunned by this move, but he needs to deal with the whole situation with that whole tape that makes him look like he's running on the landing, and listen to his explanation, because it's just so crazy for him to actually say that he got hit so hard that it made him run like this. Listen to this.
Got a little weight to me, man. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not like, all right, I'm saying this from behind. Yeah? And I'm not going to say the word, we're grown. I'm saying this from behind. Kind of looked like a look to the left though. Last minute thing, like 6 cents. Oh, what? But like, I'm on the opposition wing. Mine's thinking, is it one man, two man? Yo, move, yo. Bearings. Blurred vision. What am I supposed to do? Back up. That's what it is, man. Can only be honest with you lot, man. I want to be honest. So, yeah, kill me in the comments. Let me know how it looked to you lot. I was there. I don't remember it too well. That's why it was kind of cool to see it still.
So after all of this, he says he got hit so hard that it made him think that there was two people, or one. He wasn't even sure. That's how hard he had got hit. He literally was spinning. He was confused. He was dazed. That's how hard he got hit. And this is why he looked like he was running. This is just absolutely ridiculous. I don't care. Like I don't know what happened here. I can't excuse, but there's no way you're going to tell me that you got like hit where you did, and then you managed to make a run. It was just whatever. You just wasn't backing it. That's just it. And the thing is, this is what I said. I don't know if Clue should have said sorry, but obviously it's boosted his number, so probably for the best that he didn't say sorry, except for the fact that like his thing got trademarked. Bouncer was not done with Clue yet. I mean, he wasn't done with Clue. He had something on Clue, rather than trying to say that he's a snitch when he wasn't, because we all know that if you have certain incidents in prison, you don't have the right to tell them what to do with your medical documents and stuff like that. But he decided to bring up Clue's old case. Like, watch this.
People keep on coming with this S talk. Just understand that. Understand the process on that. But when Clue was 28 years of old age, yeah, he threatened a 15-year-old with a gun, with a fake gun, and held him hostage. He went to prison for kidnap of a 15-year-old. Now, I want you to understand this, guys. Like, understand this. This is Clue here, bro. And this is what he went to prison for. He went to prison, Leon Morris. He went to prison for kidnapping a minor. He might all be on the numbers, bro.
Got to my destination, and you know, I found people in a house, and certain people ran off, and the only people left was the guy working for the employer. I had to have a conversation with him, bro. No, I'm serious, just a conversation. Do you know what I mean? Little guidance. You're in the wrong game, son. You know what I mean? What's your 5-year plan? Okay. Now, at that point, he said something to me that changed my mood. He said to me, bro, ain't you Clue? I can't believe till this day that a man said to me, are you Clue? And I still, it's too late. It's too late. But, however, I made him aware that it's cool, bro. You just take yourself home. And it's all on file for you lot to see. So I was never convicted for kidnap. Although it laid on the file, which I found very strange, and we tried to fight that. You know? But they said, no, we'll give you the plea bargain because there was never a firearm found. Hence why they did me for an imitation firearm.
Now, what gives me jokes about this whole statement is the fact that Clue says he can't believe that this 15-year-old knew he was Clue. Like, watch this.
Bro, ain't you Clue? I can't believe till this day that a man said to me, are you Clue? And I still,
But yet he expects everybody in the industry to know who he is, or people to know who he is, because he's been in the game for 20 years, but doesn't believe a 15-year-old should know who he is. And he sat there and was just like, yeah, you can go home after having a conversation with him about life. Like, Clue, just stop talking out of your backside. Honestly, it's annoying. But after this point, it's just been kind of like dead. Let's be honest, it's just back and forth about this trademark thing. Clue hasn't really got anything on bounce. I don't even know why he started in the first place. So now it's just died down. There might be some more information released. We never know. But are these two actually beefing? Like, is this just a hoax? We will never know. But guys, like, share, subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one.